So we spent so much of time analyzing what has not worked. We checked every page whether code was implemented or correctly or not, GTMs, and after a week, Google says sorry, it was bug from our end. We could not measure AMP traffic in GA4. And I was like, you took more
Right,
than 1 year to launch this product, and you are saying you didn't even test it that AMP pages were not being detected in GA4. And
right.
so that so my daily routine used to be, when I start my work, I used to open Google search consoles and Google analytics every day and see what was the performance. But since GA4 has been launched, I don't open it on a daily basis. I only go on Google search console because I've seen like number of sessions are less than number of users. Now I don't know what metric is that. It cannot be possible that number of sessions is less than number of users. I don't know what logic GA4 is applying. So I have what I'm started quoting is Google Search Console numbers.
Hi, welcome to the Digital Vigyaan podcast. Vigyaan is a Sanskrit term for science, and that's precisely what this podcast is all about, the science behind digital marketing. I'm your host, Dronacharya Dave, and I'm here to speak with experts from different domains of digital marketing as well as industry segments and learn their opinion on the ever changing landscape of digital marketing. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another insightful episode of Digital Vigyaan podcast. For this week's podcast, I spoke to my dear friend Saumil Shah, who is an SEO expert and carries an experience of over 13 years in this field. Currently working with one of the fastest emerging parking solution firms, Park Plus, as their growth lead, Saumil gave some really hard facts around the effectiveness of SEO, how search engines, especially Google, have been updating their ranking algorithms constantly, making life difficult for SEO professionals, and what the future holds for SEO techniques, and a lot of other important SEO practices that budding professionals can really take cues from were discussed during this entire podcast episode. Here's how the conversation unfolded.
Hi, Saumil. Welcome to Digital Vigyaan podcast.
Hi, Dronacharya. Thanks for inviting me to this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. Actually, first of all, a big thanks to you for agreeing to do this, especially on a weekend.
No worries. It's been great
But
seeing you after so many years.
yeah, it's been a it's a
It's been
long
a
time,
long
and
time. Right, right.
but I think despite being a weekend, I can see that I think you're in office right now. Is it?
Yes, I'm working on Saturday. That's let's not talk
Perks
about.
of so, Somil, like, of course, today's podcast will be largely around the SEO aspect of digital marketing,
Hmm,
and you being in this field for nearly a decade now, right?
hmm,
So, uh, a lot of our listeners might also be budding SEO professionals, so they would really would like to
hmm,
get some insights on how this entire field of SEO really operates, right?
hmm,
But to start today's podcast,
hmm,
I want to go on to a little shady topic, if I can say so, which
hmm.
is black hat SEO,
Oh, you are
right?
starting with blackheads.
Yeah, I'm starting with black hat SEO because I just
Okay.
want to,
Hmm,
get this shady part, out with the first up. So
okay.
the thing is that, see, we all know, I
Hmm,
think most of the people who are into digital marketing, who have even a fair bit of idea about how, search engine optimization works, they know
hmm,
that okay, there is a thing called black hat SEO because
hmm.
it's so old, maybe like from the times of Mr. A.K. Hangal, right? Uh,
Correct.
yeah, but what I would really like to understand from you is that with like today when we see the kind of awareness that a consumer
Hmm,
has, with the kind of content they are consuming, you know,
Hmm.
do you really think that black hat SEO still exists? And if it does, then why? I mean, given the condition that the awareness,
Hmm.
consumer awareness today
Hmm.
that is there, is
Hmm.
is it is it still there, and why?
Yeah. So to give you some reference on what is actually a black hat SEO, I will have to go back a bit, like in 2005, 6, 7, when SEO was a booming in a new baby in India, especially. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and there were certain tricks and tips which Google only suggested to do on a website, and if you do those, you will start ranking. So
Right.
people started following those tips and tricks, right? But then, if everybody started doing what Google has suggested, again, Google came to a point where they were not clear which website to rank. And hence, they started bringing out what we call now as an algo update, right? So, to give you an example, in early 2000s, Google said create backlinks on your website, or
Hmm.
a website which has more backlinks has a more authority and will rank higher. What we as an SEO, as an market or professional started doing is we started creating more backlinks on any given website. Now again, Google faced that challenge that everybody is doing this now, which is a standout website from this, and hence they brought out an algo update which was called as Penguin. What Penguin did was they said, "Key, okay, you are creating a backlinks, but is that backlink relevant to your website?" So for example, if I am creating a I have a automobile website, and if I am getting a backlink from another automobile website, then that is relevant. But if I got a backlink from, say, hotel industry, that is not relevant, and hence we will penalize you. So people who had done those backlinks were ultimately termed as you are doing a black hat SEO, because
Right.
it is against the Google's policy. But this policy came after certain saturation point where Google wanted to filter out what is actually a good backlink versus a bad backlink, and hence that is how industries have evolved through those times where, once first they said, okay, your content will be good, everybody started spamming their content with keywords. Then they brought out Panda update, and they said, if you spam a content, that is a backhat SEO, right? So every time a Google gives you a guidelines how to rank, people started abusing it, and once it is abused, that term goes in bracket. This trend has
Right.
been followed throughout. So first it happened with backlinks, then with content, then with the quality, then they said you should create a mobile friendly website, UI UX should be good. Right now we are at a stage where we have evolved through where Google is saying, we know what your website is about, you write content for users, don't write content for Google algos, right? So people who had done or who had written content specifically for Google algos are now by default considered as a black hat SEO. Okay, you are writing specifically to get ranked in Google but not for a user's case, that is called as black hat SEO. So there is no such, you know uh, hard rule or something which says, okay, no, don't do this, this is blackhead, or don't do this, this is whitehead, right? This is a term coined. There's another term also called as grayhead, which is do little bit of blackhead and whitehead. So
Right.
these are all
Take the
terminology.
middle road.
Take the middle road, this is the terminology created by the webmaster community itself. Google themselves doesn't say, okay, this is blackhead, this is whitehead. Certain things, of course, like now creating a backlink from a, say, porn website or a casino site is definitely a blackhead for me, because your Google
Right.
algos have evolved so much, and they are saying, okay, getting a backlink from unrelated website is definitely a no go thing, but getting a backlink from a website which has been termed as a spammy website, definitely you are doing a black hat.
And which
But
is
if
nowhere like,
hmm,
for kilometers, miles away, it's not
yes,
related to your field of
hmm,
industry,
ha, correct,
then
correct.
absolutely not relevant.
So it's not that people deliberately did black hat. People were following Google's guidelines where Google said, okay, create backlinks, but every time they bring up an algo update and then whatever changes are there in the Delgo update, it's termed as now you are doing a black hat. How can you do this? How can you? Me myself, I have created. I was working on a website long back in 2010, which we used to sell generic Viagra. Okay, so in that,
Interesting.
no website, no uh, a good website or a good blog site was giving us a backlink. I didn't have a choice. I had to go to casinos and to porn sites to take a backlink from there, right?
Right.
And trust me, I got ranked in top three for this keyword called generic Viagra, which was around 12 million searches that time in 2010. What
Wow.
happened next was Google didn't
In
penalize
India,
us.
in India alone,
No, no, in US, in US.
in US.
Yes, in US. We ranked there
Okay.
for 2 days. Okay, Google did not penalize us, but FDA did penalize us. After 2 days, I
Oh my
remember
God.
after 2 3 days there was a warning on our website that this website is under FBI investigation. We lost that
Oh my God.
website, but yeah, but that was a good learning experience where we did all the possible black hat because I didn't have a choice. There was no way to go through a good website who will give me a link to something which where you are selling a product called generic Viagra. So we took it. We were ranking there. So yes, black hat works, right? That was a good experience for me where we saw that black hat works. We did a after that for one of my client where we did an ORM was we wanted to push certain people's ranking down or certain keywords ranking, some negative rankings we had to pull it down. We did an ORM. That is when I used PBNs are private blog networks.
Private virtual network.
It is
Okay,
again as
PBNs.
per PBNs. Again, it is as per Google guidelines. That's a black hat. But if you do it correctly,
Yes.
without leaving your footprints, that you have a network created, then yes, we were successful implementing that also. But this again, I will say, was done till 2015-16. But now Google algos have changed as such that there is no need to go through to do all these spammy things. Google algos right now are very clear. Okay, write a content for a user and make a website very clean that user does not have any experience problem navigating your website, and we will give you a rank. So me myself, I we have stopped doing backlinks since 2020. Like last 3 years I haven't created any single backlink, and we are still ranking. So
Okay.
as recent as of 2 days back, there is a new Google algo update wherein they said that we will now derank FAQs and rich results of a website. Till now,
Okay.
creating FAQs was one of the strategy
Yeah,
that
actually, I
create
was
FAQ,
about to ask that.
right? Yes, and now Google and latest algo said that we will now only rank FAQs of government website or a health website. The rest, all other websites, FAQs and rich results will disappear. So now people who are doing this, and if they will keep on doing it further, they will be now termed as blacklisted SEO, right?
Oh,
Okay, why are you creating FAQs? This is against the Google's policy, right?
right.
So now there will be a certain set of communities who will be termed that you are doing black hat SEO since you are still creating FAQs when Google said we will not rank them, right? So this term as a black hat has been there since, as you said, since AK Uncle time. But every time Google does an algo update, certain things or certain activities which you were doing will be termed as black hat.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
follow
that's
Google.
pretty interesting.
Correct, correct. So
Yeah,
there is, follow Google's policy. What they are saying: create a content-rich website with good UI UX. You will definitely rank.
right. So basically, it's like Google
Hmm.
previously had been, like that one teacher who
Hmm.
themselves teach something that okay, this is the right way of doing it, and then
Yes.
when the student does it, they cut the
Hmm.
marks for the same thing. This is not how it was supposed to be done.
No, I would say rather than, yes, they said, "K, do this thing." The problem is the entire class started doing this, and entire class is getting first rank. Now it is difficult for a teacher to say which is the best student out of those, because everybody
Right,
following what teacher said. Everybody did the homework correctly.
right.
So now teacher has to come up with one more idea saying, "Ki, okay, everybody did the homework, but the best handwriting will win."
Best and right.
So people with bad handwriting are bad black and SEO.
Bad bracket. Correct, correct.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that
Right.
has been going on since I can recall, as long as since 2005. This is the ongoing activity where
Yeah.
Google says something and then they only have to
Yeah,
revert
and
back.
yeah,
Like
and
say,
today, given the kind of as I said in the like few minutes back,
hmm,
uh, the kind of awareness that the consumers also have today,
hmm,
with the kind of digital exposure that most of the population globally has, the
hmm,
kind of awareness that they have is it I think anyway puts the entire
hmm,
aspect of black hat SEO in the back seat, because
right,
companies, brands, I don't think they can even afford to get into this zone entirely, because
correct,
even if Google won't penalize them, the
hmm,
consumer may just, by not
correct, correct,
reading it, by not visiting their website, which
hmm,
mostly is the major objective of any SEO activity. So
hmm.
yeah, I think
That has
that is
moved,
what it
correct.
has
So
come to today, I guess.
right, and Google algos have changed from, you
Yes.
can say, where they were keyword heavy, where they used to say, "Tell us what is your website is about," to now saying, Google says, "We know what is your website about. You just maintain your website. Don't tell us what is your website is about. We know everything." Our algos can detect
uh,
the entire question and entire
like
answer of
telling us on the
any
face
kind.
that don't teach papa.
Yes, yes. So that is how they, their algos have changed from, "Ki please help us, what is your website is about," to now telling us, "Don't tell us. We know what is your
Right,
website about. You just do your work. Maintain your quality. We will, rest is on us."
right, right, right. So now moving on to the next topic that I wanted to,
Hmm,
discuss with you is, uh, now this is basically, on the basis of the entire process of SEO. Like
hmm,
if we have to classify uh, businesses into two segments, largely
hmm,
there is B2B and then there
hmm.
is B2C, right?
Correct.
So yeah, and if we look at, like if a newbie or a layman also would look at SEO, and if they have a little bit of idea what SEO is, and what it does
Hmm,
and what are its objectives and all, they might uh, you know have this vision that okay, it doesn't really matter whether it is a B2B
hmm,
brand or a B2C brand, or it's a finance industry, or is it's an
hmm,
automotive industry, or it's a healthcare industry, whichever. The the main objective or the main process of SEO is going to be the same. So this is basically what I wanted to understand you, that uh, is it really, is the process of SEO really the same for different
mm,
industries or for different
mm, mm,
brand segments, B2B, B2B per se, or does it really differs, that when it comes to, let's say, a
mm,
different industry, then the process will be a little different, or
mm,
there will be
mm,
some major changes,
mm.
or is it like just the same because because the of course the objective is, okay, we have to improve the website ranking, we have to
Mm,
increase the page traffic, page conversions, all
mm.
these stuff. The objectives are the same, so the process is going to be the same. Is it like that?
Yeah, this is a great question, and this is often most asked question which I come across even in my current company. My current company, Park Plus, we are into both B2B plus B2C, right?
Right,
And the business heads, which is mostly they are not from digital side, their expectations, especially from B2B side, is to get what B2C is getting, right? So my B2C traffic, if it's around 1 million, they are B2B is also expecting to reach somewhere there, which is which is where, as an SEO, it's my job to educate them. So to answer your question, that B2B versus B2C, what are the differences and what are the similarities, basically? So I
yeah,
will say the SEO process of any website, be it B2B or B2C, is same.
right,
The entire journey of any website, I can divide it in, say, 5 steps. First is your indexing or and crawling, right? Be it any website, be it your B2B or B2C, make sure your web pages are being crawled by Google. If this step is not done, rest of the activity will not make sense. So the first step, be it B2B or B2C, is crawling and indexing. Make sure all your pages are indexed by Google. Make sure all your pages are being crawled by Google. Once that is achieved, then go to a next step, which is your on-page optimization. Do an on-page, check your meta, title, description, everything is fine. If that is fine, then go on the next step, which is you go on and optimizing your like, say, schemas, FAQs. uh, Once that is also done, then go towards building a authority of your website. So do some brand building activities, do certain awareness program, do a PR of your website. That is, I would say, it's the fourth or fifth stage where you have to. But if your first stage is not done, where your pages are not itself indexed or crawl, doing rest of the activities is not fruitful, be it B2B or B2C, right?
right,
So stages of doing an SEO is same for both the sides. Now what is a different in B2B and B2C is the outcome. B2B, of course, their search universe itself is such small that you have to set a right expectation what to expect. So, for example, at Park Plus, we are into giving a parking solutions and also selling boom barriers to societies. Versus, we also sell FastTag, which is a B2C product, right?
right,
Or we user can check a challan on our website and on our app, which is again a B2C thing. So the expectation set here is the search volume of B2C is huge compared to B2B. But what I'm expecting from B2B, even though the search volume is less, the intention of a user coming and filling up a form is very much high in B2B. So if a user,
right,
somebody, I have a, say, a boom barrier in Delhi as a search volume, it is of around 220 monthly searches. And I, out of that, I will get 3-4% CTR, even if I am in top three. So even getting 10-20 traffic, but those traffic is so relevant to me because B2B itself is a very such small universe, and a person who has come in that universe uh, has a very high intention or very high chances of him getting converted. So my B2B conversion rates are pretty higher compared to what B2C
B2C,
conversion
yes.
rates are. But that is what SEO's responsibility is, to give them a clarity that this is the universe, this many searches are happening in B2B. Don't expect something more. I cannot increase the search volume unless it is a some industry specific branding happening throughout, right? That is not in SEO's hand. What is in our hand is this: you can show them a clear picture. This is the universe, this many searches are happening, and this is the maximum possible traffic I can get it, and then create a funnel from those traffic. What is the conversion rate you can achieve? But of
Right.
course, conversion rate of B2B from an organic channel is higher compared to B2C organic channel, because the volume is low and the intention is very high in B2B. B2C, the intention is there, but comparatively it is low than B2B. So setting right
I think it
expectation.
also, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a very fair point because uh, I believe it also signifies that how the things or the process differs on from the user's point of view also,
Hmm.
because users from for a B2B segment have a different mindset, have a different approach, when they
Yes.
are, as you said, that there is a higher probability for
Hmm.
traffic conversion from a B2B traffic than from a B2C, because obviously the kind of approach that they have when they're visiting a website, they have some decision in the mind that, okay, this is what I have to get, this is what I need. B2C, it's they have a different mindset. There is a lot of window shopping going on. There is a lot of uncertainty.
Hmm.
The top of the funnel and the middle of the funnel is
Yes.
more emphasized for them. Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that's also there.
So correct. So setting the right expectation with the stakeholders is what an SEO person should do it correctly. Don't take
Right.
unwanted, unexpected goals. Uh, Give them a clear picture, right? And if you feel that you have reached the maximum possible potential, this is what I am doing right now. Also, I am taking a help of a brand team where I am asking them what activities we can do where brand searches can increase,
Right.
right? So that KRAs or KPIs I have given them, that it is your job that now people should start searching for my particular brand
Right.
with the product which we are selling, right? So you can have a meeting with your brand team and ask them that how they can help us grow organically, because that is a quick and easy win where people are definitely searching for your brand. Then of course you will get a good traffic from there.
Right. So since you mentioned that, not everything is in SEO's,
Yes.
hands, and there are certain things, which are just limited to, okay, this is what we can do,
Hmm.
and a lot of things other than that, especially in terms of, let's say, search, brand
Hmm.
searching and creating a brand
Hmm.
image or a brand visibility. There are other,
Hmm.
aspects or others
Yes.
that basically have to work on
Hmm.
that as well.
Correct. Correct.
So so taking that thing, I want to get into a little a controversial question here for you. I
Hmm.
actually
Hmm.
have, this is not a topic of a statement. This is a question basically that I
Hmm.
have for
Hmm.
you, right? So we've been listening about that,
Hmm.
in,
Hmm.
in the in the arena of digital marketing, that content is the king, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, it's everywhere. It's out there. It's everywhere. Everybody
Hmm.
says the
Hmm.
content is the king. Content is the king, right? Now, along with SEO, another wing of digital marketing is content marketing,
Hmm.
right? And For so as a content marketer myself, I understand that both the things actually go hand in hand a lot of ways, in a lot of things. But according to you, which is more important? Is it SEO or is it content marketing?
Okay, correct. This is a controversial question, but according to me, both. So if content is king, then who's queen? So some say content distribution is queen, but for me, my tech is queen for me, right? So they cannot live separately. Also, king and queen cannot go their own ways. They have to stay together, and they will complement each other. So if my tech is great, of course my content marketing or a content, the way the content will rank will be great. And the other way
Right,
around, if my content is not good, no matter how good I am at my tech, my website will not rank. So they complement each other. So both, it has to be both every time. There are even people asking me, you should do PPC or you should do SEO. I was like, do both. Why do Use the keywords where you are
okay.
not ranking there. PPC should complement you. Once you start ranking,
Yeah.
stop running ads on those
It's
keywords.
it's like that
Right?
uh, thrust, PPC
Yes.
gives you that thrust,
Yes.
which you like for example, this, if our listeners are aware of
Mm.
the current uh,
Mm.
ISRO operation which is going on for Chandrayaan 3,
Right. Right.
that's basically what they're doing. The maneuvering that they're doing, they're not
Mm.
the propulsion is not happening continuously, right?
Correct. Correct.
uh, it's only on some
Mm.
points when they are giving that thrust to the
Trust.
rocket,
Right.
when it
Right.
has to change its orbit, right?
Mm.
So I think PPC works in the same manner. All the other things, the organic
Mm.
elements, SEO,
Mm.
content, social media, all these make sure that the satellite is revolving perfectly within the orbit. And when you really need that thrust to increase, or maybe
Mm.
change the level,
The
escalate it,
correct.
the
To change
track,
the
then you can.
trajectory, you need that trust. Correct.
Right,
So yes, so according to me, do both. There is never a option of doing either tech or either content, or doing only SEO or doing only content. Do both. Right.
right. Talking of tech, uh, so today, like, I mean, with AI taking all
Hmm.
the pilot
Hmm.
seat, and things ramping up in terms of
Hmm.
the tools that are coming up every other week. I would say not just months or
Hmm.
quarters, but every other week.
Hmm.
Which all SEO tools are your go-to tools, basically? I know there are umpteenth number of tools available,
Okay.
but which ones are yours? Like, okay,
Okay.
these few
Talking
are
of a
that I
tool,
will. Yeah.
let me again tell you something very controversial. It might be. I hate GA4. I don't
I
know
think
why.
that's something a lot of SEO professionals
Yes.
would resonate with you on this thing.
I do hate GA4. I don't know why Google took so much of time. Like, it, they have announced it back in 2022, I think, or 21, that GA4 will be rolled out, and you have more. I think more than 1 year of a time they gave us to migrate. And but when the migration happened, and I don't know, like, uh, I at first thing, once we migrated, we saw a drop in our traffic. We were very much concerned that what either implementation was not done correctly, or was there a Google algo update or something like that. So we spent so much of time analyzing what has not worked. We checked every page with the code was implemented or correctly or not, GTMs. And after a week, Google says sorry, it was bug from our end. We could not measure AMP traffic in GA4. And I was like, you took more
Right,
than 1 year to launch this product, and you are saying you didn't even test it that AMP pages were not being detected in GA4. And
right.
so that So my daily routine used to be, when I start my work, I used to open Google Search Consoles and Google Analytics every day and see what was the performance. But since GA4 has been launched, I don't open it on a daily basis. I only go on Google Search Console because I've seen like number of sessions are less than number of users. Now I don't know what metric is that. It cannot be possible that number of sessions is less than number of users. I don't know
Hmm.
what logic GA4 is applying. So I have what I'm started quoting is Google Search Console's number.
Okay.
Yeah, coming to your question, the tool which I go to tool, of course, is Google Search Console. Beyond Google's tool, I use SEMrush.
Okay.
That is a one tool which I uh, you can say I trust or I am dependent on for all my major, maybe it research, maybe it competitor analysis, maybe it analyzing the traffic of other competitors, or curating out questions, or queries where or a blog topics to write on. That is my go-to tool, SEMrush. Beyond that, I think one more tool which I use often is Screaming Frog. Screaming. So SEMrush is what for me for a content. Screaming Frog is for me for technical side, where I use it at least once a week,
Like the
and
entire on-page SEO
correct,
activity.
entire on page, entire technical stuff is what Screaming Frog takes care of, and entire content side is what SEMrush takes care of.
SEM.
So this is my two go-to tools as of now. I've used others like Hrefs and Majestic SEO, but somehow Moz, in fact, but somehow I'm
Most, yeah.
stuck with SEMrush.
Yeah, no, fair point, because I think a lot of uh, people, I think SEMrush is a very popular,
Yes,
SEO tool
yes,
amongst the fraternity.
correct, correct.
But I mean, if I talk about myself, I think I found uh, Href, Href to be a very useful tool, especially
Correct.
for
It can be that
backlink
you.
analysis.
It can be that you get that comfort zone with that tool. So it depends
Right.
on where. So
I remember
long.
yeah, I remember it was you only who introduced me to Href
Correct, correct.
back when we
So
used to work
correct.
together, and Majestic SEO.
Hmm.
So, and I got hooked to Href a lot.
Right. So long back, I don't remember in which year we did this analysis where we used to pitch for clients that this is your traffic versus what competitors' traffic are. We used to use tool called Similar Web as well, which was
Similar web, yes.
highly inflated numbers. That is when I remember we did a exercise where we said, okay, what is the closest matching number? Which tool is giving you? So we mapped that with our own analytics, Google Analytics, and we found that SEMrush was matching around 90% of the numbers. So
Okay.
it has a accuracy of 90% of what traffic was quoted on analytics versus what traffic SEMrush was giving us. So I think that was one of the reason I am stuck with SEMrush is because of the accuracy of the data which they are saying. So
Right.
specifically in terms of competitor analysis, I trust them that somewhere plus or minus 10% is what they are at, right?
Right.
Other tools like similar web and all, they I don't know what percentage they inflate
I
the
think
numbers,
similar
but
is more useful when it comes to, just understanding the whereabouts of a
mm,
website.
mm, correct.
Like what's the demography, the traffic demography,
Mm,
what's the
mm,
traffic percentage, and what all other similar website. I think like if I talk about myself, I use similar web only when I
mm,
have to find other relevant websites from where I can, get some backlinks,
mm.
or I can publish my articles for content syndication
Right,
purposes.
right, right.
I mostly use similar web only for
Mm,
these
mm,
purposes. Other than that, and just to understand that, if I'm approaching a website, then what is their,
Mhm.
standing? What kind of, what is the region from where the traffic is coming onto their website, and
Mhm.
whether it is authentic or not? Because there are a lot of websites which may show that they have a very high domain authority, but
Mhm.
in actuality, in reality, they're not that authentic.
And in coming to your question of AI, of course, Chat GPT is what we are using it. Uh, of course, not for the content writing, but for the other smaller things like creating YouTube description hashtags, creating
Short form content,
so short form content which is not on Google.
which is not on.
For all other purposes, right now I'm using the content created by ChatGPT. Even say writing an email, right? Uh,
Right.
so yes, anything beyond Google is what I'm using ChatGPT for now.
Right. And ChatGPT, I think it's just, I I personally feel it may have got that, undeserved hype lately,
Hmm.
because I don't think it's the first of its kind. There have been uh, generative AI tools available
Correct.
before ChatGPT also, like Jasper is there, and
Hmm.
Copy.ai is there. Somehow, ChatGPT and then followed by it Bard, they've been getting this, hype, to say so. And that actually
Hmm.
brings me to my next question, that uh, so you've been, as I said earlier during our conversation, that you've been in this field of SEO
Hmm.
for a long time now. So how do you see, or how would you measure rather the transformation of SEO over the years? Like,
Oh.
even if, let's say,
Yes.
I'll take a time frame of 10 years. Let's not go
Hmm.
a lot behind, but you're free to go if you want to. But let's say in the last 10 years,
Hmm.
how would you personally measure the transformation that SEO has seen, SEO I'm talking about, over the years,
Hmm.
and where do you see it going in the future?
Okay. So yes, the transformation, as I also said earlier, is from being keyword heavy to going towards where Google is saying the future is voice.
Okay.
Okay, so the screenless searches is what we say. The screenless searches is where you do a voice search on say your Alexa or Google Home, or in fact using it your the voice command on your Google. That is where the industry, or at least Google, is where they are trying intend to take us to. So let me tell you how they are doing this, or what are the indicators which I saw throughout the years that Google is going towards that is way back in 2009-10, Google said, you tell us what is your website is about, you give us title, description, keywords. We will uh, understand from those keywords that your website is talking about a particular product or a category, to slowly moving towards saying the content should be good of your don't spam it, it should be as unique as possible. Then came the next phase where they brought in the rank brain, where they said now we even understand the synonyms or the related keywords. If so, not necessarily that you should write those synonyms in your content, but we will understand and we will rank you on those keywords as well. Two, but I would say the major change which came was in 2019 when they brought BERT update. BERT update was
Right.
the first step towards going towards voice search, wherein they said that now we understand the entire question instead of understanding the keywords in that question. So for example, uh, how to apply for a US visa, right? So US visa was a keyword over here. Google, prior to BERT update, Google used to take US visa as a keyword and used to rank the embassy of US website Okay, after this BERT update, what Google said, now I understood the entire question, how to apply for a US visa, and user is looking to for an answer where a user will would like to know the steps of applying for a visa. And hence,
Right.
instead of a US embassy's website, they started ranking a blog where some blogger has written on a steps on how to apply for a US visa. So
And
that
in
was
the
a
most simplest ways to understand.
yes, yes, this is the simplest way to understand. That is that this was the paradigm shift which Google has done after 2019 after BERT update. That now we understand the question. Now the next step was we understand the question, but we don't understand the answer. That is when they brought in the next update, which was called as passage indexing or the Smith update, uh, which is where they said that. To give you an example, uh, say I wanted to travel to Rishikesh. So places to stay in Rishikesh, things to do in Rishikesh, cheapest hotels in Rishikesh. There were we used to write separate blogs on this. Now, what Google said that we even understand answers. You don't need to write separate blogs. If a user is saying things to do in Rishikesh and you have written this in a particular single blog itself, we will take that user to that particular para instead of taking them to that start of the content. That is when you must have also observed that your content turns yellow if you might
Yes.
have searched certain things. That is
Yes.
the Smith update where Google says this was your query and we are landing you to that exact answer of that query.
Right.
So that was the second, or you can say second biggest thing which they solved, that we now understand. First, they said we understand the entire question, and now they are saying we understand the answer. Why
Answer.
they have done this is because when you do a voice search, that is where now they will understand the entire question, and their voice search command will give you the answer pulled from that particular passage, right?
Right.
So
Okay.
instead of saying that go to this website to get more details,
Right.
their voice
It will
command
read
will
out the entire answer.
it will read out the entire answer. So this is the way where Google is going towards that. Of course it will impact your traffic. Users will not land to your website. They are getting answers right there and there, which is what I have also seen. We have a category called fuel prices on our website, wherein we are updating the fuel prices of every city state on a daily basis. We started ranking on most of those cities. So say for example, if you search petrol price in Delhi today, right? First it used to give Park Plus website's link on the top. Now what they have done is they know the answer. They have pulled that amount from my website, and when you search what is the fuel price in Delhi today, they will simply, if you have done a voice command, they will say the fuel price in Delhi is 96. Or if you have done uh, uh, you have typed this query, it will show you the result 96. Now why a user will land on my website? He got the answer right there and there. So
Right.
this is where industry is also going, where Google does not want you to go to a website. They want to solve your queries right there and there, कि आप गूगल पे ही रहो, आप गूगल के बाहर मत जाओ. This I have experienced with uh, they first what they did long back was there was something called as Yahoo Answers, where people used
Yeah.
to ask questions and write answers. What they
Yeah.
killed Yahoo Answers by saying people also ask.
People
Uh,
also ask. Yes.
people also ask, which also affected Quora to a great extent. Previously,
Yeah.
Quora answers used to write for any query you used to post. By introducing people also ask, people have stopped going to Quora through Google because they are getting answers right there and there. Next, now what I have seen is they are trying to kill Wikipedia. if you search for places
Okay.
like New York or say Mumbai, right? First, Wikipedia template used to come on the right hand side, and the results used to come from Wikipedia. Now Google says they have stopped giving credit to Wikipedia. They are saying this data has been generated by Google itself.
Okay.
So they will give you all the data about New York City, which has been generated by Google itself. So next big thing which is going to go is Wikipedia. So they are, and that is where they are having a monopoly, where they are saying you stay on Google, don't go beyond Google. We will give you answers right there and there, and that is how industry is evolving. So we also have to evolve. We also have to make sure that now instead of
But
top three,
isn't that going to then impact the website traffic conversion?
it is so that is where SEOs have to be very clear about what to expect from SEOs, right? Getting traffic will no longer be a metric. Moving forward, your metric will be okay. This was the query asked, and this was the answer given, and we made sure that our brand name was mentioned when answer was given. So this is what we have done when you do a voice search. Say for example, fuel price in Ghaziabad. Okay, a voice search. My website started ranking, and it's they used to pick content from my website and say that fuel price in Ghaziabad is say 96 rupees. What I did it, I changed the text, the content which I have written. Now it says, as per Park Plus
Right.
website, the fuel price in Ghaziabad is 96 rupees. So at least there is a brand mention which is happening. I
Right.
changed my content accordingly. That I made sure that when Google is picking that line, my brand is mentioned in that line at least. So that is how we will
Right.
also have to evolve. That you still stay
Yeah. So
relevant.
at least we have a brand
Hmm.
authority. We can
Yes,
have
yes.
that created for the
Yes.
longer
So
run.
that so now my new metrics are how many impressions we got. To traditionally what we used to say that how many clicks you got. So clicks will
Okay.
eventually turn to impressions moving forward, where you have to be relevant, and top three will also go. My next prediction, like top being present in top three will also no longer help you. You have to be on top where Google picks answers from your website.
The top source.
You have to be in top. And next, what I am doing a research is on all these AI tools. So right now I'm asking them which is the best fast tag company to an AI.
Okay.
So my company's name is coming second, third. So now I'm doing a research how we as an SEO can even play a role in this, that AI should answer, okay, Parkless is the best fast tech to go to. So
Right.
that is a research in progress, and hopefully we will be able to crack it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
Although I w-
going beyond Google is also now in our capable. Like start ranking on AI answers.
I think that's what the future holds now,
Yes,
and
yes.
not just
So
for SEO. I think that applies to the overall digital marketing
yes,
arena.
yes.
Right? All the best for that. I'm sure with your potential, that's definitely going to happen for Park Plus, right?
Right.
Uh, so on that note, Somil, thank you. Thanks a lot for joining on this podcast and sharing your
Thank
thoughts. It was really insightful. I hope the listeners also, got an understanding, got some, new learning on how SEO actually works and what are its
Yes.
benefits. So thank you. Thanks a lot for joining in today.
Yeah. Thank you, Drona, for inviting me. Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. If you like the podcast, please do subscribe to my channel on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast.